having the self-awareness to know when you need to hit the reset button and meditate. Like you said, you're not strict on exactly what day, what time, what anything like that is, because then you're adding stress to it. If you're 5 minutes late, you're going to add stress to it, right? But you're self-aware enough to say, man, things are just off. I need to hit the reset button. And whether that's going out in the outdoors, whether it's meditating in a quiet space, or whatever your reset is. For me, sometimes it's going to be in a noisy place. And that way I can't hear the thoughts. I can't hear the traffic. I just go sit down, have lunch at the busiest restaurant I can find. Let all the noise by myself, let all the noise happen. And I block all that out, or I'm observant to what's going on around me, but it clears the thought process.
Totally. The best example in life that I know of that is actually my daughter, who's 21. She's super creative. Her name is Serena, and she is super creative. She's a creative entrepreneur. She does 4 or 5 things. But what's great about Serena, she's in some ways like Dory the fish, where she lives in a state of now beyond anybody I've ever met. And you know, when you're a parent, you become as much of a teacher and leader as you do a student, right? And she's taught me a lot about it. And you know, there's a time ever when I feel stressed or anxiety, like I'm playing in the past or the future, I just think of Serena. I put a big smile on my face because she just lives in the state of now, to the point that she'll take action immediately on anything. Like if we talk about something, she'll just go do it. It's like, you know, we talk about a restaurant, let's go now. But her whole world is now. And it's so great to watch her joy, because everything she does is like she completely embeds herself into that moment, whether it's a conversation, being outdoors. She's got all these diving certificates. She loves to dive. And one of the things she enjoys is that. So it's fascinating what we can learn from people that we've led. And you know, today's world, there's so much anxiety. You look at suicide rates, you look at opiates, you look at you look at depression. It's really scary what you see out there, and a lot of it because people live in this constant overstimulated state, too much information, they can't process it, so they're trying to keep track of the cars and the traffic, and you can't. And so understanding, to your point, when you're starting to wig out and say to yourself, wait a minute, I'm stressed, identifying that and then saying, hey, it's easy. I just got to get present. I got to take a deep breath. I got to use my senses. I got to see what am I seeing? What am I hearing? What am I feeling? What am I smelling? Get sensed again with all your senses, and then ask yourself, okay, take a deep breath, and breathing is a big part of all this too, right? There's a concept called box breathing that I've taught people because I've learned it, where if you're feeling stressed, man, just do box breathing. That and what's called come to your senses, where you get clear on what you're hearing. We say that gets you. So there are techniques we can deploy to get present, and when we do, we just feel like this sense of calm, and we can become more effective, to go back to the beginning.
Oh man, again, so much to unpack, so much good stuff there. I talking about the being present and your daughter, what I thought about in that moment was, some of these people and information overload and how people live their life right now. Like we're talking about action, right? And being present. And I think of a guy that the other day was talking about, he was a big foodie and he follows all these big restaurants on Instagram. And I'm like, man, if your daughter followed everybody on Instagram, you'd go broke, because she'd be like, hey, Dad, this looks really good. Let's go out to eat. hey, let's take me here to go. And so, I think that's the thing, though, is you have to be present in the right places.
That's right.
Like Instagram is not it. Facebook is not it. That's not real life. That's not present. People think that that's present because they think they're connecting to more people, but that's not present. And yes, this is virtual. Yes, this is digital, but I'm looking at you, talking to you on the other side of this computer. It is present. It's not just scrolling through and seeing the good parts, seeing the highlights. This is a real conversation about real topics versus, oh, hey, let me put the best of the best out there for only these people to see. Same thing with the models that we talked about earlier, right? These people did not write these articles about their model on the first go round.
No.
They tried it and tried it and tried it until they perfected it, and now they're going to sell it and make money off of it because they want compensation for the time they put in.
Yeah, and let's be clear, none of this is easy, and none of us do this all the time. So we all fail all day long at lots of things. I have my to-do list. I hardly ever get everything done on my to-do list.